The Company Circle is an initiative of OECD, IFC, and the Global Corporate Governance Forum that was born in the Roundtable of Corporate Governance of Latin America. It was because the Roundtable put together lots of agents around governance, meaning the stock exchanges, the regulators, lawyers, experts, Institute of Directors, or others. But it would be difficult to attract companies, corporate people to be there because they would not have the time to allocate for being there 2 days, 2.5 days in a building policy process. So the Company Circle was created in this context with the purpose of bringing the voice of corporate people to the roundtable. So it's a group of very diverse of companies, diverse in terms of ownership structure, industry that operates, the model of governance they use, because the idea is to offer to the broader business community in Latin America different experiences. So when companies out of the circle in Latin America look at the examples, they may think, well, this could be helpful to me because I find some similarity with my business, with my company. Throughout the years, we have been issuing and publishing information on practice. So we had 2 main books. One was the case studies of Company Circle members. We had the stories of 14 cases then. And then our more ambitious publication, which was the Practical Guide, where we presented a step-by-step guide on how to adopt best practices and how to improve, using the testimonies of the ones who are doing the path, presenting tools that companies can use to improve their governance, and bringing, more importantly, indicators that governance at the end pays off. They benefit from different ways. One way is that it's a learning possibility all the time. So it's like an MBA in corporate governance. But more important than the MBA is that you, being one of the 19 members, you are learning constantly from the other 18 members. So you are learning from the success of other companies, and you are learning from the failures. And you are learning from the ones who made history, which is totally different from hearing from a professor. The other element is the exposure of the company in the marketplace, not only in Latin America, but elsewhere, because we have been using the Company Circle as a vehicle to expose the Latin American companies to international investors. We have been doing meetings, putting together investors and the Company Circle members in a way that investors would be learning about the context of corporate governance in Latin America, and also the companies will learn from the demands of international investors. I would like to add a third benefit of being a Circle member, which is to influence policy on corporate governance. For instance, take for a second the 2 discussion groups, the 2 working groups that we are having in the Circle. One is on AGM, annual general meetings, and the other one on board evaluation. These groups are putting together a sort of white paper that will be delivered to the market in the future. And of course, this will influence regulation eventually. I would say the first one is passion, because you do not put together a diverse group of people, very busy people. Can you imagine, we are talking about CEOs, chairmen, directors, board directors, CFOs, legal counsel. So this requires passion to attract these people to a cause, because at the end it's the companies are there, but the ones who are doing the hard work, they are people. They have in their minds and their hearts this passion in corporate governance, and that's the one who makes them work extra hours. Another point which is very important is determination, because it requires a lot of work. It requires, to convince people to travel in the region, to do lots of things. So it requires determination, not only from the coordinator, but also from the sponsor organizations and from the companies. And I would add a third element, which is the relationship building. And this relationship will create an environment of trust, which is paramount to this initiative, because before producing books, guides, white papers, those companies have to share their experience among them. And, they're not only saying about their positive things, they're talking many times about their failures. So you have to have an environment of trust that allow companies to open their hearts